Mount Diablo is the highest peak in the San Francisco area, and the observation deck on the top of the visitor center offers spectacular views of the area on a clear day. It's quite inspiring to go to the top of the mountain and take a look from the above. It may just happen that such exercise will elevate your spirit above the routine activities and help to gain a perspective on your everyday life. Indeed, to ease worries, the psychologists recommend to put problems into perspective and ask yourself, will this bother you in a year or two? It seems that being in open spaces works the same way. By the variety of hues of yellow and brown colors and the distance the eye can reach, it reminds me of the views at the Desert View Watchtower in the Grand Canyon. The tower on the peak of Mount Diablo has strong light source on the top. It was originally installed in 1928 and was used to guide airplanes during the night flights. However, during World War II, the lights were turned off to prevent an enemy from using it. Nowadays, it remains turned off, except on December 7th to honor those who died at Pearl Harbor. Inside the building, there are lots of interesting displays explaining natural and cultural history of this place. Mount Diablo has a very fascinating geology indeed. According to the marker, the elevation at the summit, which is a rock on the floor of the visitor center, is 3,849 feet. There are also a few samples of everyday items made by Native Americans who inhabited the area before the Spanish arrived. For 25 tribes lived in the vicinity of the mountain, it was sacred ground and a creation place. In ancient times, people traveled to the mountain to pray and to hold ceremonies. The Native Americans managed the landscape planting oak trees and doing frequent small-scale burnings of the dry grasses to promote new growth. The parking may be limited at the top, but there's a place nearby where you can park and walk a short distance to the visitor center. You may notice greenstone on the way. This is actually lava, so-called pillow basalt, formed during underwater eruptions. Yup, this mountain was lifted from the ocean, although it's not a volcano. The earth crust movements pushed the rocks formed during different ages up and folded the layers, making a sort of huge wrinkle. Later, the erosion exposed different sediments and even ancient lava. Now, the mountain is like a pie, formed from sediments including those from the Jurassic and Cretaceous period, probably just a little shy of 200 million years old. You will find plenty of picnic areas on the way up, or down. This one has an interesting fireplace. Spaniards call the peak Monte del Diablo, referring to the dense bushes covering the slopes after the incident when a few runaway Native Americans disappeared in the bushes during their escape. So originally, Monte meant shrubby area, but later the English-speaking people translated it as mountain, and Monte del Diablo became Mount Diablo. By the way, the word monte can also mean a pile of cards left after the Spanish game of chance, which is also called Monte. However, the name of the city, Monte Carlo in Monaco, has nothing to do with the cards. It's just plain Mountain of Carlo, or Charles. Let's stop here before we confuse you more. In addition to the top of the mountain, the most often visited place on the mountain is probably the Rock City, on the South Gate Road, featuring the eroded sandstone rocks with small caves. This sandstone was used to build the visitor center, and if you look closely, you can spot fossilized shells on its walls. The sandstone started to form around 20 million years ago, when rivers brought tons and tons of sand from nearby mountains that eventually became Sierra Nevada to the ocean bottom, where the thick layers of sand were compressed and turned into the sandstone. Later, the bottom was uplifted and the rocks started to erode, creating interesting forms like these ones, known as wind caves. Due to the complex folding of the layers, earlier Jurassic deposits now lay above much later rocks from Eocene. This is how I understand what happened. there was a wrinkle in the rock layers due to movements of the earth plates, and then the top part eroded away, uncovering the old rocks. The uneroded remnants of the Eocene sandstone can be found below the Jurassic rocks. So, Mount Diablo is a wrinkle, not a volcano. Thanks for watching! If you will reach the mountain, buy ice cream for yourself and for your kids at the visitor center and enjoy both the sweet treat and the spectacular views. One more thing, you will likely see bicyclists on the road. Please be patient and drive with caution. Good luck!